Yeah, I'll wait for the furnace to kick off here, so possibly to hear me a little bit better. But we're going to get back on this. Now, for you guys, the video just ended possibly, I don't know, anywhere from a second ago to 3 days, but in reality it's been 3 weeks. I got doing other things, and that's better. So anyway, I hate leaving stuff half undone because I don't remember where I was at, but basically it's time to rebuild this control valve. So once you get to this point, from the last videos you see we actually have the center link is now together, and so now it's time for the control valve. I still have everything pretty much in order. So I scraped the gaskets off just before I fired the camera up so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on, because I needed this off on both ends. There's actually only one gasket. The other end actually seals. Not only is there a seal here, but then there's also, when the cap goes on, there's a couple of seals with the spring and everything, and it doesn't matter. There's spring at the end of the gasket. The cover plate, there's also another gasket. So again, I don't believe liquid is supposed to get to this point or past this point. That's just my observations. You know, it's supposed to go in and out of these hoses after that. But anyway, so what we got is there is a small, it's not really a snap ring, but it does have a, you kind of see there's a separation there in it. Once you get everything off, you can actually just go to this side, set it down, and you should be able to push everything kind of out this direction, because there's actually a piston in here. And it's going to be tight because that has to come out of there. It's not really a snap ring, but it is somewhat, it's spring loaded, so it's keeping pressure on it to kind of keep everything in place. So it will come out. I just don't know how much effort it's going to be, if that makes any sense. I may push it back down. I guess I can't put it like that. Let me get off the side a little bit. There we go. That really didn't help me any. But I'm going to go ahead and we'll just get this rubber out of the way. That way that's done. I'm going to try to keep everything in order so that I don't forget where everything goes. But and keep this ring, don't mess this ring up, because you do actually need this again. So I'm just kind of working it out from the edge. Now everything should slide out pretty effectively here. And guess what? It's not done. I really don't have anything here. That's probably not going to do it. Technically, that's supposed to just slide out. There's nothing else holding it. That's actually like it's just a washer, to be honest. We'll just do that. Yeah, see, the washer fell out. Okay, there's a seal coming out. Uh-oh. Throw it on the floor. Now, you don't necessarily need the seal, but what you do need is you need this piece of the center section. Got to keep that. That actually is just in that seal, so don't forget that. I'm just going to set them together there. Now, the piston itself should just come out without any issues, but again, making it do that is supposed to be the simple part. Well, I'm just throwing everything back on the ground. Probably hitting the table now. Yep. We can go ahead and pull this back seal out. And again, it's the same setup. It has that neoprene little center section, and so I think it's going to go on this end. So I can't forget how everything goes together. Oh man, I don't understand why that's so tight. I'm probably off camera now, ain't I? There it went. I'm throwing that on the ground. Might have a little bit of scuffage on it because there's actually no seals in that after, you know, the seals are the ends. So I don't know why that was being such a booger. Tight fit, which is actually probably pretty good. So let me get a snot rag here too. So how this piston works, actually got a pretty good scuff on it. Like I said, when that's in there, I know I'm off camera now. Okay, when that's in there, how this works is when you shift that sideways, you know, when you turn your steering wheel, it shifts this rod. Like I said, this thing kind of moves back and forth, which moves that entire rod. This thing's hooked to the rod, so as it moves this way, it pushes fluid like through this side, and you turn it the other way, then it pushes fluid through this side, and that's what makes it go to either one of these, which makes the cylinder do its thing. So it's actually a really simple setup. It's not difficult to read or figure out, and believe it or not, this thing is in really good shape. I'm not hardly seeing any scuffs, and most of them were probably from me just taking it apart. I've seen pictures and other videos where these things are really scuffed up. So actually being looking like that really doesn't bad. And you can actually buy this separate. If yours is all tore up or whatever, you can actually buy that. At least CJ Pony, I assume you can get it anywhere else. So anyway, that's really all there is to it. You can kind of look in there and you see those two veins, you know, the two holes or three or how many there are. It depends on how, yeah, that's what shoots the fluid from one place to another. So now it's just a matter of cleaning everything up and getting it ready to go back together. And then we're going to have a really, really fun kind of a fight to see. This is actually, look inside there, it's actually got some pitting on it. Not that really should make any difference, but the actual body itself has a bit of pitting on it. I don't think that's another spacer, although it could be, I suppose. I don't think so. So anyway, let me take this and get it all cleaned up and get the bag opened back up and get some stuff set out here, and we will go to town on it. Alright, we're ready to go again. Normally, these things are just so, you pull them straight off your car to work on. There's going to be, especially if it leaks for any amount of time, there's going to be so much either power steering fluid or transmission fluid, whatever it is you use, that you probably don't even have to bring any extra into lube because it's just such a mess. But in this particular case, this thing has sat for many years, and it was actually pretty dry inside. I mean, it had a coating, but nothing I can use. So I went ahead and got some out of my truck. It's been in my toolbox for a while. This is fully synthetic ATF. I think it really calls for Type F. I don't know that for a fact. I think there is some instruction on that, and I should read it, but I'm not going to. But I thought that power steering fluid is what you needed because it's a hydraulic system, and that's more of a hydraulic oil the way I understand it than it is transmission fluid, which is really more of a detergent. But actually reading and listening to other people, they're all saying no, use automatic transmission fluid. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I was wrong. This kit actually did come with those little doodads and the seals. I didn't expect that, but so okay. Now here is the fun part. As you saw, those two seals at the end doesn't look like that big of a deal, but they're a pain in the butt. Meaning that putting one on one end isn't that big of a deal. It's when you go to put it on the other end, you're trying to get it not only in a housing, but you're also trying to get it around this. Although these do have a pretty good, now I'm off camera again. They have a pretty good sham for both ends to get it on. It's actually better to, I'll show you to kind of get one on there. Now this thing actually feels kind of crappy. I didn't really clean this off super good. And I hate using emery paper on it because mine is actually kind of rough, but it's a sealing surface and it acts like it's got a little surface rust on it. So that seal obviously was, you can kind of see that in there, kind of garbage looking. I'll be gentle on it. I don't want to take a brand new seal and put it on something rough and have it leak immediately. I mean, these things are already prone to leaking as it is. So, kind of a let me bump the camera with my elbow too. Well, as you can see, although the roughness is off of it, you can still see. Oh, not on camera at all. She's still got some pitting on it, but it's better than it was. Okay, so where I'm getting at is we're going to put this thing together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop this. I think we're going to do it this way. I went a little further than I wanted, but I really didn't lube that up. I guess I better do that because it's actually going in kind of rough. Let me put just a little bit of. Let me put just a little bit of fluid on it because that actually did feel kind of ugly. I do not have a clean spot anywhere up here on this to put that. Okay. Now, here's the new seal. I'm going to go ahead and lube it up while my fingers are still covered. I'm going to put that little doodad in there. I said getting it over, that's the easy part. Getting it down. What we're going to do is those things are pretty thick and pretty heavy, and I don't have a socket out here all ready to go like I anticipated doing. So I'm not sure the size we're going to need. Ooh, that's not it. 7/16 ain't good enough. We're going to step right up the old 1/2 inch. That'll work. I want to make sure I'm not damaging the seal. Maybe I didn't put enough lube on that. I don't really want to use grease, but you know what? You know what I think I'll use? Hang on a minute. Let me run off camera for a second. I got something to work better. I'm going to use the old Lucas engine assembly lube because this stuff always is good. I don't want to hurt the seal, like I said. But that is exactly what's going on. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take, I get that back off there. We're going to take that little plastic doodad back out of there. And I'll explain that here in a minute, why we're doing that. I'm going to put that back on there. I can't use the socket now because you don't want to, so you're going to have to walk that thing around with your fingers. And I know I'm not doing the best on the video end of it because my fingers are going to be in the road, but once you kind of get one side worked in there, if you got enough lube on there, you just keep walking it around. I know what you're thinking. Well, you're never going to get that piece of plastic back in there. Yeah, just hide and wait for a minute. I just popped it back out of there, moving this. I didn't mean to do that. I'm kind of fighting that. Every time I put it down, I'm actually putting pressure on it, popping it back out of there. I know you can't see anything, and believe it or not, even with this one light up here, I can't really see. I guess I got two of them. Still can't see anything. Okay, it took some work, but as you can see, the seal's in there. Now we're going to take this. Oh, it just popped it back out when I put it down. I gotta stop doing that. What I'm doing is I'm hitting the back of this and I'm actually pushing it out. We're going to fight that here in just a minute. I'm going to show you how we get around that as well. But for now, why don't we stop doing that. Okay, now I want to put the green deal in, and that thing should, oops, that thing should pop in there pretty easy. You know, I didn't think that piston could come out that other end. Because now I got it in there a bit. Yeah, that didn't. Okay. All right, we're going to try it though. We're going to put the green thing back in there because, boy, I'm having heck now. Now that it's lubed up enough, it ought to just go right in. And it did. And it should have done that to begin with. But, okay. It went in, and then I keep pushing it out to the bottom side. This is the fiddliest part of this, is getting these seals in. And this one should be the easiest one, believe it or not. This one should be the easiest one. So, obviously, it doesn't work that way for me. But this is normal. This is everybody else can do it much easier than I can, one of those things, and that's usually what happens in my case. I just, I don't know what it is. Anything that can absolutely be a pain seems to find me. I mean, I don't know what it is, and I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, woe is me." It's just sort of I can't explain it. It's just something that has always happened. It's like if it can be a booger, then that's pretty much what we're going to have. I about got it back in there. I know I'm in your way, but you can kind of see what I'm after here. It's just making it do it. And no, it's just not working. I'm not having any luck with this, doing it this way. So I'm going to put the seal back in. I'm just going to cut the seal if I'm not careful. And matter of fact, I better check it to make sure I haven't damaged it. So, no, I don't think so. But I got to be careful because that's, like I said, this is the downfall of doing this. Is that you cut it up, you kind of have to go get new seals, and you're not just going to go down to your local automotive store and they're going to have them in stock. You're going to have to order them in. So we're going to do this again without the plastic deal on there, and I'm just going to have to just kind of fight around it. that looks terrible. Well, oh boy. I am just not having any luck with this at all. I mean it. Wow. Yeah, I thought this was going to be the easy one, but it is not. So you just keep messing with it here. I do it off camera, but it's really not fair because that's exactly what the CJ Pony guy kind of did. He started getting to the fiddly spot, and then he kind of cut off and then came back when it was getting back in there. And it's like, well, that's not really, I mean, I understand I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me fight this stupid seal for 30 minutes either, but it's like, you know, this is real true life. This is how it works. And see, now I just pushed this thing clear out. And so I can get the seal in there, but then I got it boogered up so bad I can't get the plastic thing back in there. Yeah, I know there's some of you saying, all you got to do is this. I know. I'm glad it works that way for you. But it doesn't for me. So, well, I'm not really sure what to do here, but it's not working it out at all like I anticipated. So, I don't think that will go through all the way, will it? Okay, this thing actually will come out the back side. So let me put the seal in first without the piston in. I see, it went in there really easy. Now let's see if I can hold it and then get the piston in. Make sure you put it in the right direction. Maybe that's what I should have been doing this whole time. Just push the seal because I can't hold it at the same time. Everything is so slippery. Nope. No, it doesn't like that either. Even with that big old chamfer on there, it doesn't like it. And see, the problem here is I can't tell if I'm dead square on that or not. Okay, I heard a sound, good or bad. Okay. Huh. You kind of saw how I did that, I hope. The seal appears to be in decent enough shape. I can't put it down or I'm going to lose it. So we don't want to do that again. And the washer goes in. And the new O-ring. And then this little booger here, which is supposed to kind of help it from being a pain, if you follow what I mean. Should hold everything in place. Yeah, I'm going to lube that seal up, that rubber. I'm just making sure this is in as far as it'll go. Okay. Yep. Now, let's don't put that down that way. I'm going to fight that again. A bit more. Put some power steering fluid in it. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm now going to back you up. I'll shut you off here for a minute. So I got to check this text. I got family on the move. It's Christmas time. Pretty close. So I'm going to lose these gloves. I'm going to shut you off. And I'll reset you up. And then we're going to restart. And I'm going to show you how to kind of put this thing together where you're not possibly fighting it as bad. Before we go on, I forgot to do something important. And I have no doubt that this will also not function as properly as I want it to. But there's also, if you're looking here, you look at the opposite side, there's another one. This is the bypass. And what that does is, well, okay, let me say what I think it does, and then we'll go from there, because again, not an expert. But the bypass is either for when you're lock to lock, when you're holding it on there, the fluid has a place to go, or it's for the pump is always spinning. And when you put that thing in the center, there's no more place for the fluid to go. I assume it bypasses it, that way you can sit there and circulate around it. That's my guess. But you do actually have to rebuild it as well. Now, my junk tools will likely not take this apart. It's moving, but the odds of it coming apart, you know. And the problem is I'm going to end up losing all my all my stuff, because I should have done this before. And this one is bigger, which tells me that this possibly has been apart before. I can't swear to that, but this end is bigger. And the O-ring's out again. Alright, it's O-ringed and spring-loaded. That's what it looks like. And that's just part of it. So now, there should be a washer. Should be a washer. Washer. And then the piston technically should come out, but it's probably not going to. So what we're going to do is I have to find something small enough to go in there and push all that out at one time. Something that's preferably not covered with all kinds of different things. Too big. Let me find a punch or something here. I know, not prepared. I almost completely forgot about this thing, to be honest with you. I don't really want to use a hammer on it. What I'm trying to do, though, is I want to get that end knocked out, but I don't want it to, you know what I mean? I don't want to fling parts everywhere. But unfortunately, it has decided that it wants to make me fling parts everywhere. I probably ought to put this in a vise. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this where you can't see it. Oh, it could be easy, but it's just not. Let me just try to take this end off again with this. Alright, there's that end. It should also have a spring. Come on, let go! Alright, so here's that end. Again, it's the O-rings you're replacing. You're really not doing anything else. It's just the O-rings. There's your spring, and then there's that washer on top. This one keeps falling off because I don't have it in there. Let me make it stay in there. How do we do that? Why don't we use this? It's like a glue. Because that stuff, it won't let go. Alright, then what's, like I said, what's left in there then is the piston itself. There it is. All it is. So, That's really all there is to it. I just pulled it out to show it to you. That really did not need to come out of there. So, now somebody else is texting me. I gotta be easier getting it back in. Getting it back in this direction. Yep. Alright. I just wanted to show you this though, that this is, you know, so we're going to put the washer back in, put the spring back in, but this time I left them in the bag so I wouldn't lose them. Two brand new O-rings. So I'm going to pop the O-ring off of this one, unless you're off camera. Stab yourself in the thumb, fling the part across the shop. Lube it up. Make sure you don't cut the O-ring going back in. Take yourself a small socket, which I don't think I got. So I can try this, but I'd rather it go down square. What's in my way is I actually put the center link in the. Alright, that's not working. Oop. Okay. The only thing that really holds that in there is when this is bolted to it, you know, then this will stay in on this side. And then this side is kind of the same way. So what we're going to do is put the washer in, put the spring back on, take this O-ring off, put the new O-ring on. Sorry, it's not listening. Put the new O-ring on. There you go. See? Lube it up. Same thing. Boom. Done. Okay. Now that that's done, it's all back together. Now I'll bring you back in a minute when I get everything set up over here. Alright. Back that fast. Okay, now that the bypass is done, and we got the new sealed rubber, everything's lubricated, gaskets in place, now we're going to go ahead and install this. And go ahead, bolt it together. I know you're saying, wait a minute, you don't have that back seal in. Well, believe me when I tell you, fighting that piston, moving around, that's no fun. I can already see, watch them other guys working on that stuff, that it was just so much easier to do this while this is bolted on. Besides that, we're done with that part of it anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and put it together. Uh-oh. Okay. Gasket's in, that's tight. Alright. Pretty happy with that. Now, I probably got to readjust you, but I kind of want this somewhat. Come on, hammer, get out of the way. Where I can kind of get to this a little bit easier. You know what I mean? All right, so now we're back to the fun part, getting this last seal in. And, well, the last seal in this particular part of it. So what we're going to do is the same thing. I'm going to use my engine assembly lube. Now you should be able to use anything, grease or transmission fluid or whatever it is you're going to use. But in this case, I think the slicker you can make this, the whole lot better you're going to be. That's just my opinion. Make sure that that's out. And I did not put that piece of plastic in there first because now you're trying to do the same thing. Well, in the front case, you either had to back on or you had the center section already in, or you had the case, the outer body assembly, whatever you want to call, already in. In this case, you're trying to do both at the same time. This is where it's no fun. So I'm going to try to get it on to the inside and then fight around. Don't poke a hole in it. Use the side, use whatever you can, but don't poke a hole in your brand new seal. Okay, I know it's kind of dark, and I do apologize for that, but I have to get around here and see what's going on, because it doesn't feel like this side went in where we're supposed to. The glove here. Okay, there we go. A little bit of movement. No, it's probably too bright for you, but see, it's on all the way around. Now, now let's see if we can get the old piece of plastic in there now. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more lube on it. I know it's a pain to fight, being it's all covered with lube, but I don't know that you can get it in there any other way. But it should actually be pretty simple setup. And just like that, it's in. I can't believe how much easier that one was than the other one. That other one was supposed to be the easy one. Okay, so now that I'm looking through here, I'm down to very few parts left. So that's actually a good thing. So what we're going to do now is a part I didn't clean. That's pretty apparent. Let me clean this off just a bit. I don't know why I didn't clean it. Probably because I left it. I never came back to this project. Well, I was actually building the engine. For you guys, I don't know where this is going to come in. The engine's where I started, and I just actually finished building it. Matter of fact, that text was from my wife saying I had a box come in, and that was actually for the engine. I just have to remember to put that back on there. Okay. So now, because this is sealed here, you see we really don't have to worry about, because technically liquid's not supposed to come out of here. So that goes on there. I know it's just hanging there. We'll be here in just a minute. And I've got a little O-ring that goes on it that I'm sure I'm going to regret. I mean, I guess I need to put it on this. Yeah, it's probably better. Then we have a spring. Like that. And I put the new O-ring in already, although it doesn't look like I did because it's trying to come back out of there. And the O-ring and this little cap then goes on this. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Lied. Sorry. That's not accurate. That is not an accurate statement. Put the O-ring back on, fell off. Now, there's actually a new nut and washers for this, but I'm not going to put it on there. And these aren't seals, a little plastic deal, so we're not putting them on. You forgot. Yeah, I got to put this nut on first. So, this nut kind of sets a preload on everything, and there actually is an adjustment to it. You take it down till you take right there. It's actually, you know, I can go a little further, but I'm not going to, because it's actually, the preload is gone on it. You actually take it to that point and take it back a quarter of a turn. So I'm going to call it there. It's a lock nut, so now put this cap on. No, I did not clean anything up. Now, again, not an expert. First time doing this. This could be a total fail. I could have done something wrong. That O-ring, I just didn't even check to make sure it was still in there. It's probably at a 45-degree angle and hanging out the side somewhere. I think it's pretty much just to keep dust and crap out, but anyway, I still suggest, out of everybody, well, the two people I've watched build these, Ed China's the one to watch. It's just my recommendation. He doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't know me from Adam. I don't plug his. He obviously don't plug mine. But what I'm telling you, though, is don't just watch one video on a lot of this stuff. I have made many mistakes. I've said things when I go through editing, I didn't pick it up. Say things backwards, say things wrong, say things different than what it really is. Sometimes I'm just wrong. Sometimes I tell you way too much information. There's a lot of things there that can happen. But in this particular instance, this is my personal vehicle. If this fails, it's on me. I'll take it back apart, get another kit, try it again, buy a whole new monkey here and start from scratch, put it in, if that's what it takes. I'm not telling you to do either way, but it's $200 and some, usually with a core charge attached to it, just to have this thing replaced, where it was 50, 60 bucks, whatever it was for the kit, and you might be able to find them cheaper, I don't know, to have it rebuilt. To me, it was worth the time of attempting to rebuild it than it would be to replace it. Besides the fact, I like learning things. I like to get into things and see how it works and, you know, whatever. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to function. Whether it functions properly or doesn't leak like a sieve, I don't know. I cannot answer these questions until it goes on the car. But I've ordered, I told you this, 4 brand new lines. There is not a part of this that has not been either rebuilt or replaced except this stupid nut. So, and I bet if I look around here, I bet you there may be a new nut with it somewhere. I don't know, because I got a brand new pitman arm as well, because the 6-cylinder and the V8 pitman arms were different. So there's not a part of this suspension that has not either been rebuilt or replaced. That's just the way it works. So, okay, so I'll bring you back when we move on.